use my trusty frying pan as a drying pan.
Now, some of you might be thinking, shouldn't you have covered this topic back in February, as that's when Pokemon celebrated its 25th anniversary? No, I was too busy unboxing socks and watching outdated media formats to make a Pokemon video. Also today, new Super Pokemon Snap Bros U Deluxe comes out, so this topic is relevant, I swear. Now, contrary to what I think you all think, I'm not as oblivious about Pokemon as it may seem. I've watched a few episodes of the anime and I've seen a couple movies. I watched Chuck of Conroy play Black and White. I have 2 siblings and a few friends who know their stuff about the series. And on top of that, I've even played a few games. I never beat any of them, nor do I really remember what I did in them, but I do know what a Pokeball is, so I feel like I'm at least qualified to be an intern when it comes to Pokemon discussion. Despite that, however, I know Pokemon is very vast with lore, and there are many aspects of it that I don't even know about, let alone can comprehend. So to make this video work, I'm gonna need to make a quick phone call and/or possible bribe.
Hello?
Help me.
Yeah, I'm not available. Please leave a message after the beep.
No, wait, it's really important. You see, I'm doing a video about the game series with the yellow rat, but the only point of reference I can actually remember is Detective Pikachu. Starring Ryan Reynolds, and Justice Smith, and Catherine Newton, who isn't related to Isaac Newton, unfortunately. If you help me with this, I promise to roast Pokemon Ultra Sun.
Say no more.
Alright, great. Now I just need to figure out how to fax the legal waivers.
What? Why are there so many blank pages here? Why does this one say possible exposure to toxic chemicals?
Yes, that's right. This episode of Kaizir won't just have Kai talking about the spooky Pokemon mysteries, because let's be honest here, the video would probably suck if that was the case. Nope, today we have a super special guest joining us today that my Twitter followers have probably seen coming from a mile away. That's right, please welcome the creator of Tea Time himself, MegaMasterXY, also known as Brian, because yes, he has a real name, the same way every other human on this planet has a name.
Hey everyone, just your typical YouTuber who plays Nintendo games, talks to himself, and throws games down the toilet.
And so with that, let's talk about some Pokemon mysteries. I'm not really good at that whole transition thing. Let's start with MissingNo, the classic mystery. If you haven't heard of this guy already, you would not believe what you have to do to get one. Okay, so first you have to talk to this old guy in Viridian City who shows you how to catch Pokemon. Then right after that you have to fly to Cinnamon Bar Island, start surfing on the water, going back and forth against this part, keep swimming, and you'll eventually find a MissingNo. Yeah, for some reason these specific events manipulate the encounter mechanics in such a way that the game generates this guy. MissingNo, which stands for missing number. Thinking about it, I think it has something to do with how you have to talk to like the Pokemon tutorial guy, and like that might mess with the encounter code or something. And on top of that, if you catch it and leave the encounter with it, the item tally in your 6th slot is increased by 128. It also makes other parts of your save file glitchy and corrupted though, so it's not recommended you save after encountering one of these. And that's pretty much it for the mystery. And to be honest, how anyone discovered it is more of a mystery than anything else here. But there is one final thing I wanted to bring up. In the Pokemon anime, during the title cards, if you look right here, you can kind of see a pattern that looks like the glitched up sprite of MissingNo. Is it actually MissingNo? Probably not, but it does kind of look like it, right? Anyway, yeah, that's the MissingNo. Not really an unsolved mystery, unlike most of the other ones in this video. And honestly, the only reason I wrote it into the script was so I could talk about that whole title card thing. Alright, next.
The classic truck by the SSN. Even if you only played the original Pokemon games, you most likely heard about the famous truck rumor. This can be spotted during the SSN arc, and people thought that if you were somehow able to reach it and use strength, then you could find a Mew underneath. Unfortunately, it's just literally a truck on display to add to the scenery. I mean, come on. It's like if I posted a picture of a new game I bought and someone was like, now hold up. That water in the back looks kinda sus. I will admit it would have been cool if it was true, but it's practically impossible to reach without cheats because it would require both HM strength and of course HM surf just to get to the area. What is cool though is that Game Freak did bring back the truck for both Kanto remakes. Whether it was intentionally put there or it's just another one of those scenery stunts, it's still a nice throwback to the days when people thought it actually meant something. There's still no Mew though.
Okay, to end off the spooky mysteries in the Kanto region, let's talk about a potential Pokemon passing. So in certain parts of Pokemon Red and Blue, your main character Red enters into Pokemon fights with their rival Blue. One of the Pokemon that Blue uses is known as a Rattata, which evolves into a Raticate. After a certain fight on the aforementioned SSN, Blue's Raticate is never seen again. What's more is that the next time you meet Blue, he's in the spooky haunted town of Lavender. And in the town of Lavender, there's a spooky Pokemon cemetery. Not only does that tell us that Pokemon can die, but Blue is in this cemetery, which implies that Blue's Raticate that we don't see ever again died. So, did he die? Yeah, no. Look, I know it's fun to think about dead Pokemon, I know I do, but no, he just probably put him in a PC, evident by the fact that he also puts his Rattata in the PC before this. Because, oh yeah, his Rattata is not his Raticate, because they evolve at level 20, according to this website. And judging by this footage, yep, Blue's Raticate isn't at level 20 when you first meet it. So yeah, even though it's fun to think about, this Pokemon isn't dead. Sorry.
Moving over to the Sinnoh region, there lies a statue in Eterna City that has long been debated on what it is. It looks like Dialga, yet it looks like Palkia. So which is it? It's actually both. Though obviously the DS didn't have the highest quality in graphics, it was clear to see that this was some sort of fusion with both Dialga and Palkia on the statue. It could be hinting to something similar to a Unova legendary where they were once a single Pokemon. Or, who knows, maybe the sculptor was just too lazy and instead of making two statues, he merged the two legendaries together to make one. Either way, it is possible that we actually do get an answer to this question in either the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes or even the Legends Arceus game. But until then, I'll just stick with the sculptor theory, it sounds about right.
The first time I tried thinking critically about Cubone, it gave me a migraine. Okay, so in case you're unaware, Cubone looks like this. It has a skull on its head. Whose skull is that? Well, it's his mom's skull. Obviously. And if you're wondering how I knew that, well, I did say Detective Pikachu is my only source of reference, and, well...
Hey, Cubone. What's up, buddy? Not everyone can pull off wearing the skull of their dead relative, but, you know, you sure can.
And also it says on, like, every Pokédex entry ever, so... Anyway, first thing I want to say about this is... wearing your dead mom's skull sounds like the worst coping mechanism ever. Although, I guess it is better than wearing her skin all the time. Whatever, though. Here's where the mystery part comes in.
They lied. Yes, as any player who has put Cubone or Marowak into daycare will tell you, it's all a lie. What, you thought Game Freak would be creative in these games? Nope. You can leave two Marowaks at the daycare to let them do their thing and nothing bad or different will happen. Marowak's mom lives and the Cubone still has a skull. Could there be something behind all this? Perhaps. Oh, who am I kidding? Game Freak just didn't want to do it, probably.
Or who knows, maybe they knew full well this made no sense and did it for the express purpose of pissing off people who think too hard about video games. Also, let me just barge back in here and say that Marowak also has a skull on its head. Wait, did you just say that Pokemon breed at a daycare? Anyway, Marowak also has a skull on its head, presumably the skull of their mother as well, because that just makes sense. So even if the Marowak in your party did die, what, did the Cubone just look at his dead mom, take the skull of their grandma off, leave it on the ground, and wear their mom's skull? That's fucked up. Also, as far as I know, when things die, their skin doesn't immediately decompose into nothing, leaving a fresh skull. So that means that Cubone would have had to just peel the skin off her dead mom's body and just take the skull and then take off the jaw too, because you have to have some way of putting it on your head, and then just boop, and there you go. You got the worst coping mechanism ever, aside from wearing their skin. Oh god.
Ah yes, the good old Kalos region. The place that would lead us to a timeline where this is a Pokemon. It's just a pair of keys. Yes, the Kalos region is a place that is flooded with many mysteries due to the fact that it was the only generation not to receive some sort of follow-up game, aka the third version title. For example, what is this Pokemon on the hedge at the top left? Why was AZ's Floette not available to obtain but still in the code of every single 3DS game? Were there any fatalities when these Geosenge houses flipped over? Because if so, I always knew Pokemon was secretly a rated T game. But there are two big mysteries that usually come to mind, with the first one being the Koreway train station. It's a station to the right of Kalos said to connect directly to another region, but it literally has no use in the games. Recent theories have suggested that the region it connects to is the Galar region, mainly because of the presence of many railway tracks in the region, but also because the Kalos region and the Galar region are based on France and the UK, and there does exist a rail train between the two. Unfortunately, it remains a mystery because we clearly weren't able to go back to the Kalos region in Sword and Shield. Would have been perfect DLC though, that's just a missed opportunity. And then we have the famous ghost girl in Lumio City. What's with all the ghost people in Pokemon? In the city, there is a building you can enter, and if you take the elevator to a certain floor, you are presented with a very creepy scene of lights flickering on and off, and a girl just floating across the floor. Great. The only thing she has to say is that we are not the one, and then she just disappears. Okay, cool. There are many theories and ideas, but the sad truth is we will probably never know why this and the other Kalos mysteries were set up the way they were, since Game Freak just rushed to the next generation to meet the 2016 release date as a celebration of the 20th anniversary.
Man, imagine rushing out a Pokemon-related product just in time to meet an anniversary. Sad. Wow, I bet you totally can't tell who came up with what ideas in this video. Anyway, this is a Pokeball. Yes, I have indeed blown your mind. If you throw this at a Pokemon, it goes inside and hopefully gets caught. Although sometimes it doesn't work. Thank you once again for this wonderful information, Detective Pikachu. Anyway, a common mystery when it comes to Pokeballs, and when I say mystery, I really mean thing the franchise establishes but doesn't really explain at all, is what is inside a Pokeball. So to be fair, they have explained it at certain points. I've heard somewhere that it recreates the Pokemon's natural habitat, which sounds about right, but I don't really remember where I heard that though. So I'm just gonna throw that in the whatever Kai pulls out of his head that he supposedly found somewhere, but when writing the script he can't find that original source file. Something I was able to find a source for though is this Kotaku article. In this article, titled "What is Inside a Pokeball According to a Pokemon Developer," the writer claims to have talked to one of the producers of the modern Pokemon games. Yeah, the title says developer, but Masuda is a producer and sometimes director. I don't know. Anyway, apparently he said in the interview that it's a very comfortable environment, comparable to a high-end suite in a 5-star hotel. Alright, I'm taking that quote literally, by the way. My new headcanon is that all Pokeballs have an actual 5-star suite hotel room in them. As of now, I don't think we've ever gotten a visual representation of what's inside a Pokeball, and considering the best image of that we have is this, and that I can't really find any other official statements on what's inside a Pokeball to talk about, let's move on to PCs. Okay, so what is a Pokemon PC? Well, contrary to what you probably expected, it is indeed not a Windows machine. No, it is actually a glorified storage crate for your living creatures shoved inside a spherical hotel suite. From what I can read in Bulbapedia, when you put a Pokemon in a PC, it turns them into code so that they can be stored as computer data. Oh! Well then! Wait, does that mean I can store my exported videos on a Pokemon considering they're just apparently a living, breathing USB stick? I don't know, and who cares, because the real mystery here is what are the Pokemon experiencing when they are in the PC? Are they now AI or in stasis like Corporal Dogmeat? Well, according to the anime, they're transported to the region's Pokemon professor and they just kinda hang out there. Know how I said according to the anime, and as established earlier, the anime just kinda makes shit up and doesn't really count as... And that's the only other explanation I could find about what the Pokemon experience is when they're turned into code. And it has nothing to do with them being code, or with the canon, or anything really. So because I have nothing else to say, I guess I'll just shut up for now.
The good old Hoenn region. Why am I saying the good old so much? Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire had finally released in 2014, finally giving the fans a remake of the 3rd generation games. Everything about this game was absolutely wonderful until I reached a certain area in the game. Out in the Battle Resort, there were 2 things that disappointed me. This disgusting display and Looker. Yes, the famous Looker can be found here in the Battle Resort, and after seeing him have a whole story arc in Pokemon X and Y, I thought he was about to shine again. Looker is found unconscious on the beach, to which a lady takes him to her place so that he can recover. And if you go and visit them, he still has no idea what happened. The only thing in his possession is an Audinite, which could maybe hint that he was coming from the Unova region or something. But that's literally it. Nothing more is said and nothing more can be done. It's so annoying because it feels like there must be some hidden secret to this, to where I spent several hours trying to look and see if anything would change, and no, nothing changed. That's unfortunately all there is.
Now, finally on our almost top 10 list, it's time to talk about the darkest, creepiest, child-deathiest mystery of all, Lavender Town Syndrome. So, you know the music that plays in Lavender Town? That's a stupid question, of course you do. Well, apparently that song has binaural beats, which are 2 different tones with a different tone in each ear. Lots of songs use this, and lots of things in general use this. However, though, the Lavender Town beats were apparently different. It had tones only children could hear, which made them sick, and in some cases gave them suicidal thoughts. It's a bit of a leap there. This supposedly made Nintendo change the song in later releases of the game, presumably to prevent more sick kids. So yeah, that's all spoopy and stuff, but here's the main mystery. Is this LTS thing a real thing? Did it actually occur? And was it possible that kids actually got sick or even committed suicide because of this song?
Nope. It isn't possible for someone to get sick over these kinds of thoughts just by listening to 8-bit music coming out from a speaker of a Game Boy or 1989 quality headphones. This was honestly just a legend made by some person who is living in their basement who goes to the local phone box every morning to call random folks and spread the word.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I feel like I probably should have known that wasn't a real thing beforehand, considering how many creepypastas I've read about dolls coming to life.
Yeah, no worries, but... Oh, hang on a second.
Hello?
Hey, you own a Game Boy?
Yes?
I'd watch out if I were you. Ever heard of the Lavender Town Syndrome?
Please leave a message! Whoops.
Yeah, you should probably get your phone number changed after we're done doing this. Well, that was a fun way of splitting a new Pokemon release for views. Well, that was a fun way of honoring the Pokemon franchise for the release of a game, a spin-off, sequel. I guess the moral of the story today is that if you want people to speculate about your franchise, write in a bunch of stuff that makes no sense and internet nerds like us will spend 20 minutes talking about them. Oh, and also Detective Pikachu is only a reliable source 10% of the time. Anyway, this video is wrapping up, so do you have any final words, Mr. XY?
Honestly, it's been fun and I am happy to be a part of this. So definitely leave a like on the video and subscribe to Kai because he makes great content. And I guess you could check out my channel to experience whatever I have to offer, I suppose. What do I have to offer?
I think that's the only time like and subscribe has been associated with either of us. So while we're at it, don't forget to hit that bell.
Wait a second. Did you even roast Ultra Sun yet?
Yeah, 1 second. This game blows. Yes.